This call is being recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Cooking Without Looking podcast. How's everyone out there? We have a very special guest. She is from the American Council of the Blind. Her name is Cindy Hollis. Cindy, how are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'd love to have you. It was so wonderful because you and Eric got us involved in actually taping the show with the American Council of the Blind. So we appreciate it, and anything we can do with you guys, we're here for you.
Yay, that's awesome. Yeah, we love it having you guys be a part of it and um, the the part of our community call. So yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I just wanted to get with you, Cindy. Cindy, tell us a little bit about your blindness journey.
Well, I've been blind since birth, so didn't have a whole lot of vision growing up. A little bit. Learned Braille at age 5. Could see colors and some shadows when I was a kid. By the age of 12, totally blind in left eye, light perception only in right eye. And by the age of probably 22-ish, no vision at all. So I'm a total, never could read print, but learned how to write. My mom was determined that I would learn how to write print, so I actually can address envelopes, or I could write a letter. It might look like somebody that was a kindergartner or first grader wrote it, but I can do it. And it's somewhat legible, so that's good. But
Always a
yeah, yeah, so Braille though is my main format of reading.
Now I've heard that Braille is sort of hard to learn. What do you say about that, Cindy?
Well, I taught Braille for 21 years, and I'm going to say I don't think it's as hard as people say it is. It's like learning anything. If you really, really want to learn it, you have to practice it and use it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
There
But
you go.
it's alive and well, and it's amazing. And I love Braille. And even if somebody wants to learn it just as a tool to label things in their home, to label medications or canned foods or their microwave. There's some daily uses for Braille that are practical, and you don't have to learn how to read volumes of Braille to be able to use Braille on a daily, as a daily practice. So for your needs.
Sure, there's so much technology out there, and I know that there's like two camps of people. You know, some people prefer the Braille, some people prefer the technology. Where do you stand on that, Cindy?
I use them all. So I at my computer here I have my regular PC for work. I have a Braille display with it. So when I go to in our community, so ACB has community events, and I'm sure we'll talk about those in a little bit. But one of the things that I do on Friday nights is my friend and I host a show on the community called It's Playtime, and I read the questions. And it would be pretty difficult for me to just listen and ask those questions and keep track of what I'm doing. So Braille is definitely the way for me to do that successfully. I think that for us to say that Braille it can be substituted by speech, uh, I have a problem with that only because you don't learn how to punctuate, spell words, etc. You can't really do a good thorough read over of something just audibly, and you can do that with Braille, and especially if you want to make sure you know how to spell names and things like that. So uh, audio is great, and it might be the right thing for people for reading. And certainly if somebody hasn't learned Braille, I'm not, and or can't learn Braille. Some people might have, you know,
Like diabetes, where their fingers.
yeah, exactly. So where the nerves in their neuropathy, where they can't read, feel the Braille. Um, so that might be a reason that somebody doesn't learn Braille. And or if they're working and they lose their sight, it's probably quicker for them to just jump in and start learning how to navigate with the computer using speech. But Braille still is literacy, and I would encourage people to learn Braille if they are able to, and just be patient with yourself, and find some support groups. So even in our community, we actually have several events every week that support the learning and use of Braille. So we have
You mentioned.
two. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go on. I'm sorry.
I was going to say we have two events where there's peer-to-peer support for people that are learning Braille, and they can be paired up with somebody who knows Braille and just supports them on their journey to learning it. And then there are three other calls that just are support calls for people that already know Braille well, either maybe want to learn grade 3 Braille, want to hear the stories of people who are learning Braille, want to learn about technology around Braille. So it's pretty awesome if somebody is really interested in Braille, coming to ACB community events. They may be able to learn about that, as well as large print. Now, I'm not a large print user, but we have people who are low vision, and we also have several events on our schedule around calls around low vision.
You guys have a lot of events, and speaking of a lot, Cindy, I looked at your bio. You have done so much with the American Council of the Blind. Tell us your various different responsibilities.
So in my history is that I joined the organization when I was very young, because it was over 35 years ago. It was 36 years ago. I was pregnant with my oldest daughter at the time, and she turns 36 next month.
Wow.
And I ended up at the chapter level, started a chapter, was vice president that first year, eventually became president. On a state level in Washington State, became president and served as president for 8 years at two different segments of 2 terms each. Also then served as a president of one of our special interest affiliates in ACB, which is now ACB Families. I did that for 3 or 4 years. I also chaired committees and served on committees in ACB at the national level. And when this job came open, and it originally was membership services coordinator, it was really my dream job. I really wanted it. I wanted it desperately. It was at a time in my life that I was working at the Lighthouse for the Blind in Seattle, and so I had a full-time job, and but this job spoke to me, and I really wanted it, but it came right at a time when my husband of nearly 13 years had walked out on our marriage unexpectedly, and my life was kind of thrown upside down, and right side left and left side right and every which way. And
Aw.
someone reached out to me and said, Cindy, I really think you should look at this job and consider applying for it. And so I dug the email out, read through it, and said, oh my gosh, it really is the job I've always wanted. And so long short of it, I applied, and within 3 months, or less than 3 months, I moved to Minneapolis for the job, sold my home in Washington about 3 months later. COVID hit 9 months after that, and the community was born out of a need for people self-isolating and being, really stuck in their homes. And
Right.
so I started with 2 calls in March of 2020, and just on how to stay connected using conferencing. And eventually, well, right after that, it grew to like 9 calls the next week and on and on. And now we have this week alone 102 calls. And
Wow.
earlier this year, my job title changed to manager of membership engagement. So, and also because of working remotely, then Eric said it would be okay for me to continue working remotely indefinitely. And I moved from Minnesota to Michigan, where I currently live, bought a home here, and I live now 3 minutes drive, about a mile and a half from my daughter I told you I was pregnant with when I joined the organization. Um, I live 3 minutes from her and my 3 grandchildren here in Flat Rock, Michigan. So there's my kind of journey in ACB, and I know I am where I was meant to be. So it feels great.
Well, you do a great job. My gosh, I get your emails and it's like, wow, she must like be constantly busy, like around the clock doing this. And what do you have a favorite story of any of the people that you've met or worked with, or something that's happened to you that's made a difference?
There are so many I couldn't even, how do you begin? We have so many people that come on these community calls that have been coming since the beginning. And there's, Phil from Georgia, who started on his phone sitting in his rocking chair, and now, and he's retired, and now he comes in on his computer. So, was scared to use the computer to do this, but now he does. We have Sirku, who lives in Finland, who started coming about a year and a half ago, and she now calls herself Sirku the Phanerican. And
Oh.
she is very active in our organization. We have Kayla, who lives in Arizona, and she was invited to come to a crafting event in June of 2020, and within a week or two took it over, and instead of it being a 2 calls a month, they hold about 5 calls a week. They teach knitting, crocheting, sewing, all kinds of crafting
Oh,
that
wow.
involves glue and clay and everything and anything, and has even landed a job with another nonprofit doing what she loves, crafting, and still does her volunteer work with our community. And there are so many others. I mean, those are just, and I don't even know how to explain, but when I hear people step out of their comfort zone and try their hand at bringing something they love to the community to share with people in the community, because what this has evolved into is it really is blind and visually impaired people not only participating, but facilitating, so bringing the content. They are hosting, so they're the ones handling the raised hands and muting people that are being noisy. And we train people to do that. And it's been an amazing journey to watch so many people. I believe empowering people is just it's a gift that keeps on giving, and they want to then empower others. And so that would be my long story. Sorry, but can
No,
you tell
no,
I'm
no.
passionate?
Oh, I know. But that's the main thing. That's the beauty of the whole thing. Like
It is.
I think I told you one day the same thing happened to us. The pandemic came, and we couldn't be on. Used to be on PBS and in Palm Beach, and then the pandemic came, and we ended up doing everything on Zoom, and we're up to 30. I think I counted 31 countries, and these are blind people from all over the world, just like you. And
Yep.
we gave people who were blind something to be happy and to look forward to. And I get what you're saying, because it does. It's like it sort of lights a pilot light under one person, and then
Yep.
it gets handed off to the others.
Yep. If I could give a quick plug about the community
Sure.
events, and really want to encourage people who are listening to consider checking us out. But many of our events are streamed live on ACB Media 5. ACB Media is the internet radio station of the American Council of the Blind. And we have 10 channels, but 5 is dedicated to our community events. And when things are not streamed live, you can listen to pre-recorded content that has been placed in automation 24/7. Our programming in our community takes place 7 days a week, and that includes holidays. We've been known to hold marathons during Thanksgiving or on New Year's Eve. We've done a community-a-thon the last 2 years and have raised over $22,000 combined for
Wow.
our community. And there are just so many other events, from peer support calls to technology, learning languages, music, people sharing their love for a specific, a specific topic, sports or travel. We have learning classes like Braille and the Abacus, and uh, just, and then social calls, and then we do some fun calls. And I'll give plugs. Of course, I do It's Playtime on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then we do karaoke every Saturday night at 9 p.m. And it is amazing the talent that has come forward. And the other thing I would just say is that we have people of all ages that come, and from all over the world, as well as from people that are members of the American Council of the Blind, and people who are members of other organizations or not members at all. And all are welcome. Our motto is safe, respectful, welcoming. And if anybody wants to be subscribed to the daily email list, they can send an email to community@acb.org, and we'll get you signed up. And you'll receive an email in your inbox every night, except for Saturday nights, because on Friday nights we send out the weekend schedule. So, and or people can call 800-424-8666 and follow the prompts to listen to the daily schedule over the phone. We use Zoom, so people can call in. They can use their, smartphone. They can use their computer. And we also do some things on Clubhouse, which is an audio-based app, and we often will join Zoom and Clubhouse together. So we really are trying to reach everyone, as many people as we can, so that they can participate in our community events. So hopefully I captured all of that. But
Well,
and if people
Cindy,
have
that
questions,
no,
reach
it's
out.
it's tremendous. You guys do so much. It's a very, very active organization, but you allow sighted people too, right?
Anybody is welcome. I mean, certainly all of our events are geared toward people who are blind or visually impaired, but we don't discriminate against anybody, and we don't ask for ID at the door. So if people are curious about what we're doing, please check us out, and of course give a listen. I should mention that you can listen to ACB Media 5 again 24/7. So no matter what time zone you're in, and if you have an Alexa device, you can ask her, call her by name, and say, ask ACB Media to play 5. Now, you might need to enable the ACB Media skill, but that's the easiest way to do it. Or you can go to our website, ACB Media website at www.acbmedia.org, and then you put /5, and that will pop up the player so that you can listen on your computer. So if you don't have an Alexa device, you can do it that way. You can also call a phone number, and it's 518-906-1820, and then press the number 5, and you can listen to our channel on the phone. So there's lots of ways to take part.
No, it's a lot of fun too. You guys are like a bunch of really nice people, and I think anyone listening to
Thanks.
us today would truly enjoy it. Cindy, you've got a recipe for us. It's the Cooking Without Looking recipe of the
Yes,
day. What it
thank
is?
you.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's a Cindy's summer pasta salad, and it's so easy and very adaptable. So it's a very flexible recipe. You can use whichever pasta of your choice. I typically use penne, so like a 16-ounce package of penne, cook it to its directions, run it under cold water to strain it so it gets cooled down. And then you're going to chop up about 2 cups of vegetables. I personally like slicing up some cucumber, and then I quarter it. And then I will usually do some bell pepper, maybe a little broccoli, and I might throw in some green onion. So, I say 2 cups, but however much you want to do. And then about a cup of cubed cheese. I like cheddar. I like the flavor that it brings and the consistency. So cube that up, throw it in there. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. I like using fresh Parmesan, a couple ounces. And then I just use a bottle of flavored vinaigrette. I really enjoy it with the raspberry vinaigrette or a poppy seed vinaigrette. So throw the bottle in there, not the bottle, pour the bottle. Pour the
Just throw
bottle
that bottle
in.
in there.
Yeah,
Don't
just
even
throw the
open it
whole
up.
bottle in, and good luck with that. But pour the bottle of vinaigrette in of your choosing, or your choosing, either one, and mix it up. Just toss it really nice. You can also throw in, you and I were talking earlier. You said you'd love it with some ham. I like it with a little bit of chicken. I've also done it with tuna, but you can do it that way. I typically, when I do this for picnics, I typically don't put any meat in it so that it's a little safer at a picnic, without
Or
going bad. And chill it for about an hour before you serve it. But mix it well, and it is just a real refreshing pasta salad, and so easy to make. And variations are whatever is in your fridge, right? So that's what I
right.
like about it. Yeah. So
It's
that's
it's like
it.
you can just do anything. Oh, and I'm an olive person, so either black or green olives.
You
I'll be
could.
throwing.
Yep.
So, but no, but it looks really good. It sounds really good. Um, Cindy, one last time, give us your information, your contact information, if anyone wants to get a hold of you or the American Council of the Blind.
You bet. So any questions related to the American Council of the Blind, either if you would like to know about a chapter or state affiliate in your area, if you'd be interested in learning about our 20 special interest affiliates, which range from people aging or low vision, Braille, library users, families, just students, younger people, the list goes on. If you'd be interested in learning more about them, you can go to our website at acb.org and look up our affiliates, or you can just drop an email to community@acb.org. That is also the email address you can use to get subscribed to our email list and get our daily schedule for our community events. I also wanted to mention that we have a club in Clubhouse. So if you are a part of Clubhouse, you can look up ACB there, and we'd love to have you. We do a call every single morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, where we go over the daily schedule as well. So, and that's via Zoom and in Clubhouse together. So you could check us out. Again, ACB Media 5. So ask your Lady A device to ask ACB Media to play 5. You can also look for our podcasts on acbmedia.org. You can call 800-424-8666 and follow the prompts to listen to our daily schedules of our community events. And again, really, if you don't remember any of this and you just are like, what the heck did she just say? I have a question about this. I have no idea of what she's even talking about, whatever. Drop an email to community@acb.org, and myself or Colby, who is my assistant, she lives in North Carolina, and she's who reads our daily schedule on the recording if you call in. But either of us will write you back with the answers or subscribe you to the daily schedule. We just want you to get involved and share what we are doing with others, because we do not want to be the best kept secret for the blind. We want people to know about us. And it truly, Renee, what makes me saddest is knowing that there are people that don't even know about what we're doing, because I know that there is something here for everyone. And I also know that I'm in the job I was meant to have. I just love loving on people. I love what I do, and I want to meet everyone in the community. So please, please, please join us to share about what we're doing with people. All ages are welcome. Affiliation does not matter. We just want to be there for people. No one, not anyone, should feel alone at all at this time. And whether COVID, disappears tomorrow or not, we know that there are people in our community that spend a lot of time alone, and we don't want anybody to feel that way. And connections is what it's all about, and that's what community brings. So yep.
You guys are a very, very friendly group. I haven't met one person from your group, all the way down from Eric Bridges, who's your executive director, to you, to Colby. Everybody's been very, very nice to us. So, you guys are real easy to reach out to and enjoy your time with. So I just want to say that the recipe you just gave, Cindy, is on our website at www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com. Also, we have our podcast. If you're looking for the Cooking Without Looking podcast, it's anywhere you go and get your podcast. And like you, Cindy, we're Alexa enabled devices. You just say, hey, Cooking Without Looking podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel, which this interview will also be on beginning tomorrow. And you can consider giving to the American Council of the Blind at acb.org, right, Cindy?
Yes, absolutely.
And
yeah,
you can,
I was just going to mention that we do have a conference coming up in July, so there's going to be information coming up there as well. So certainly check us out on the website, whether you want to give or learn more about us. Yeah.
Right. And then you can consider donating to Vision World Foundation if you like these podcasts, or if you like our TV show. The link is right at the top of our website, www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com. And again, Cindy, it's been wonderful spending time with you today. Thank you for helping us change the way we see blindness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
All right. You too. Thanks so much.
No problem. Bye-bye.